Hey everyone, the last Shoegazer here, bringing you a review for A Blade in the Dark. This review is a part of my good buddy Joe, TheHORRORman's Saturday Slashback series. I took a few weeks off from doing this challenge. There for a while I hadn't missed any Saturday Slashback reviews. I was really keeping up with it and having a lot of fun with it. And it kind of caught up with me, life in general, and just being super busy with my family, my two kids, and just some craziness at work, and just kind of a lot going on. And I realized one Saturday that I had nothing to review and upload, and then it just kind of continued into a couple of weeks there. So I missed it, and I wish I could have just kept it going, but back in action here with A Blade in the Dark. This week Joe asks us to review a slasher that kind of is all about some sort of a form of music, not necessarily the soundtrack or just an eerie kind of tune throughout, but something that definitely has music integrated at the core. He said it could be like a musical performance or just some sort of musical element that is a little bit deeper than just the score. I checked this film out a couple of months ago on Amazon Prime, and whenever I decided to jump back in this week, I had a little extra time. I was missing it. I thought, man, I need to review A Blade in the Dark, because I almost did it then, just as a general review. I actually gave it a rewatch last night to get it fresh in my mind, and I'm glad I did, because I liked it even more. This film's from 1983, from Lamberto Bava, and produced by Suave. Definitely a good team. It has that kind of giallo kind of feel and look to it. It's probably even a little bit more like obscure than some of the heavy hitters like opera, but there's still some scenes that are very reminiscent of those types of films in Argento's canon, and people like him producing those kinds of stylish, very creepy, dark, seedy kind of slashers, with the dubbed over English actors kind of doing the voicing in place of the Italian actors. And in this one, it's like especially corny and cheesy and kind of cliche at times. At spots, I think it was kind of intentional. Some of the things that are said there, it's kind of comedic, but overall, you might find the person doing the voice of the main male character, the composer Bruno, who is composing music for a horror film. He's kind of shut in this villa that he rents out to do this musical composing. Therein kind of lies the whole music element here that I chose to run with A Blade in the Dark. But yeah, his voice and just tone and just how it kind of plays throughout the excuse me, the film. It just, I don't know, it can get kind of annoying at times and almost make it seem like it's an awkward slow burn, but it's really not even a slow burn. I might even venture to say that there's spots that are kind of slow, kind of boring, a little hard to get through. But it overall, if you can push some of that, annoyingness aside, even some of the female characters are a little bit out there with things that they say, very cliche and cheesy. But it's all fun in the end. I think that's kind of my overall takeaway, and the darkness and the killer lurking, very like psycho-ish. And once you get to the end, you'll see kind of what I mean. But like I said, there's definite elements that are reminiscent of films like Opera and other Argento kind of stylings. There's a box cutter, like a utility knife, that's the main murder weapon, among others, that are used in very creepy, unsettling ways. The gore and the effects are really, really good. Everything's like practical, and some scenes look very, very real, and very disturbing. Even the setting itself is really unsettling and atmospheric. A lot of like darkly lit, shadowy areas and long, stretched out, skinny, claustrophobic kind of hallways and corridors and rooms that are just really kind of creepy, and like unused in this villa where Bruno's doing the composing, and kind of quickly getting caught up in all of these murders happening kind of like all around him, and he's interacting with some of these people, and they're kind of getting picked off one by one, and he's trying to kind of put the pieces together, and is sort of going crazy himself. He feels like can't really trust anybody. He's questioning everything, starting to spend time, rather than composing music for this horror film that he's contracted to do. He starts recording almost like a memoir, little like journal entries into the microphone, just in case like anything happens to him. He's starting to kind of go insane and wonder what's going on, and everyone around him saying, "Oh no, there's nothing happening," and you're crazy. You're just imagining all of this, and if there was a killer, we'd all be dead, and stuff like that. So, it's pretty straightforward. It's a classic kind of obscure giallo kind of slasher. I really like the production of it, even though there are some sort of cheesy, annoying elements at play. It all kind of comes together in a really, really cool, unique way, and all of the creepiness and the gore and the effects and just the overall setting of the villa and the grounds. Some of it's inside, some of it's outside near like the pool and in the weeds, the tall grass, and some of it's down in the dark, shadowy areas of the villa. We have some characters that are kind of questionable and mysterious. We have like a gardener and a girlfriend, a nearby like roommate of someone, in the area as well, and this female who used to rent the villa before Bruno came in to record his music, and she's sort of like mysterious herself. It's just a lot of stuff at play. So it's sort of like a whodunit kind of scenario, and this poor Bruno is just kind of caught up in all of it, and the guy's just trying to make some horror music. I'll show some clips. You can kind of get a feel for at least like the musical aspect of it and get to meet Bruno. But yeah, I would definitely recommend A Blade in the Dark. This is my Anchor Bay DVD that I purchased after I first watched this on Amazon Prime a couple of months ago. I was lucky enough to find a brand new sealed copy that I now have in a little protective sleeve here. Really happy to have this in my collection. Yeah, so definitely check this out if you have Amazon Prime. I think there are still a couple of copies floating around. This is also in a double feature with Macabre. So if you can get your hands on this, I would definitely check it out if you're a fan of Giallo or just kind of dark, atmospheric slashers in general. If you don't mind a little bit of a slow burn and some cheesy voice overdubbing, but that's all part of the fun, isn't it? So, Joe, hope you enjoyed this. I'm not sure if this is the one that you anticipated me doing this week. Actually, part of me wanted to do American Psycho. I know some people, I think actually including Joe, don't necessarily consider that a full-on slasher, maybe more of like a psychological thriller, but that along with, films like The Shining, I've always kind of seen as slashers, even though they don't really wear masks. Sort of their crazy alter identity, in my opinion, sort of that mask. And oh man, I love the musical elements in American Psycho with Christian Bale, Patrick Bateman, just in his maddening craziness, playing like Genesis and Phil Collins and some of the stuff I grew up listening like with my dad and I still listen to today. I was gonna do that, but yeah, I decided to do this one instead. So, Joe, I hope you enjoyed this, man. Happy Slashback Saturday, everybody. And until next time, have a good one.
I'm recording this just in case anything happens to me. I'm nearly positive that I've uncovered a chain of murders. Admitting at the same time another possibility, that the whole thing is in my imagination. Or very powerful autosuggestion. But I don't think that's the case. Too much proof to the contrary. In the house where I sit, something hellish has happened.